Welcome back to another episode of Absolutely Nothing Podcast. Steve the Plum Gribe is here along with
Michael, real Anne Hathaway, Sorosky.
And Eric the Pterodactyl Dumlow.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening. It's like 6 p.m. by you guys. I don't even know what time it is anymore because I literally just get like 1 or 2 hours of sleep here, 1 or 2 hours of sleep here.
That's why they invented the watch and the clock, though, so you can look at the time and it'll tell you.
If I wasn't playing poker still, I would literally not know like what time or day it was.
A calendar also is a good idea here, because that'll tell you what day it is.
Who has a calendar anymore? Like an actual calendar?
Well, you should for this specific issue.
I mean, I have a calendar on my phone.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay.
Calendars used to be like a thing, though.
It's fun to make a calendar or get a calendar, you know what I mean? But you just don't need them anymore. But like the idea of like making a calendar, it's pretty cool.
I used to get them from like the bookstore when I was a kid. It was like always like, oh, I pick out like a sick one. My sister would get some like books, some like educational something. I'd be like, I want this Garfield calendar.
Exactly.
Every Monday is just a frowny face, you know, and
all right, so I don't know what
There's
you got. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
just there's lasagna on the calendar was my big.
I like how repetitive would the I hate Mondays get? Because like there's just like so many Mondays in a calendar.
Well, that's all he's got.
Lasagna, and he hates Mondays. Not a big normal fan.
You would think that they would go to a calendar in a different direction, but they went Garfield, you know?
I actually have a Garfield calendar from like when I was a kid. That's like, it's like wooden, and it has tiles that you put on for the days, and then there's 12 different plates, like the dinner plates, like the collective like type of plates that you change at the top. And my mom brought it out to me last time she was in Vegas, and she said randomly it's like worth like a decent amount of money. It's worth like $400 or something because I have like all the pieces.
Good work.
I know, right? Yeah, good job, me.
I don't know if it's going to appreciate that much more.
Yeah, I'm not retiring off my Garfield calendar. That's for sure.
You don't have to hodl the Garfield calendar.
I do like how on this we're trying a new podcast recording website right now, and I do like how it's got the recording timer going in the bottom.
That's nice. We're trying to get our audio better because some of our audio is a little shaky. We've been doing this for like 5 years. We have no excuses, so trying to get it a little better.
There's always room for some excuses, like a couple,
right? But once we figure it out, we'll have it.
But I don't know what you guys want to talk about today. But I gotta know what Eric thinks of Cruel Summer. And let me say this first before you say anything.
Oh God.
Sorosky, first of all, you should watch this. It's like right up your alley. You would love it.
Depending on what Eric says.
I hope Eric loved it. But I feel like Eric's probably going to say it's better than I thought, but wouldn't recommend. I'll be happy with that.
So in a previous episode, Steve was like, oh, you should watch this show, Cruel Summer. And then we found out later that it was on, what was it on?
Hulu.
No. It was deep in Hulu.
Freeform.
It wasn't just Hulu. It was on Freeform and Hulu. So that made us a little suspect. So just for the content of the podcast, Liz and I watched an episode, and I couldn't even get through the first episode. It was so bad.
You can't just watch one episode.
No, Steve.
The first episode of almost every show is notoriously the worst and the slowest.
Steve, in the first episode of Breaking Bad, you see Walter White stranded out of his RV in his underwear, and you're like, wow, what is this show going to be? Cruel Summer, you can tell the entire way that it's clearly, first of all, hold on. In the boardroom, when they said this is going to be a show, they said, okay, who is this show going to be for? And in that meeting, they all agreed that the show was intended for high schoolers. It's not just about high schoolers. The content of the show is clearly made for high schoolers.
And
It's
31-year-old.
not for you. 31-year-old poker players.
First of all, let me just say, I never once compared to Breaking Bad. So you can't bring Breaking Bad up. And you can't, literally 95% of shows, the first episode's literally always the slowest. Always.
Game of Thrones ended with a kid getting pushed out of a tower and becoming paralyzed. That was cool. That was pretty fast. As he sped to the ground.
Eric led me on. I was to believe that he was caught up on the show.
He did all he could. He's only a human being. He's trying. What's he, a Guantanamo victim trying to watch the whole season?
You should have seen me like towards the middle. I was like, I really want to keep doing this for the podcast, but like this is very, very bad. There's nothing that could turn it around from the point I got to.
Yeah, watch more episodes. That's what would turn it around.
No, your level of what is watchable is the bar is just so low.
Okay,
for you.
I prefaced that all I do is watch TV and movies now because I stay at home and take care of a baby. So I need lots of content.
Clearly.
And if I may, I'm going to bring up the IMDb score again to show that it's respectable.
Yeah, it's high school girls boosting this IMDb score.
It's perfect. Yeah, so it's perfect for you, Sorosky. 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. More than respectable.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on because it was just so bad. Don't watch it.
What's a show right now that you watch that you like?
A show I watch right now that I like. I'm watching the show. I'm watching season 7 of Alone because it recently got put on Netflix. It's about how it's like a contestant show where they get put out in like Alaska and they have to survive basically on their own. They film themselves for 100 days.
8.4. 8.4. Not even a full point higher than Cruel Summer. That's how close. That's how close they are.
I'm glad mine was higher. Thank God.
Yeah, I was nervous as you were explaining it that it could have been below.
I've seen Alone before though. My mom watches that show. It is cool.
It is good. It's a good one, and there's a bunch of seasons. So like we just found it, so like you can go back and watch them, but you got to take breaks in between seasons because there's only so much you can watch of like some guy trying to fish.
I'm on a big, like, to go on with like the repetitiveness that you're saying. I'm on a big Survivor kick right now because I used to watch Survivor when it first came out, like 20 years ago or whatever. And then there's like 35 seasons or something, I think. And I watched maybe like the first 10 seasons and then I kind of stopped. And every once in a while I'd catch a random one. But I just watched like 5 in a row the last like couple weeks. I'm just like powering through them now. But like you said, it's like same challenges, same like scheming, same rewards, same tribal count. Like just like it's so repetitive.
You can only do so much of it.
Yeah, had to take a break. Got through 5 seasons, and I was like, all right, got to get some Cruel Summer or something. So what do you guys got?
All right, I got something.
Yeah,
I got something. I just wanted to. I wrote down something with a few bullet points about. Basically, the whole idea is that boxing is just a complete joke. A couple weeks ago, there was did you guys watch the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight?
I literally would have been one of the suckers that bought it, but I forgot that it was like going on until it was like the last round. And I texted my buddy, I was like, did it start? And he was like, it's over.
Okay. So I did watch it. I just found like a stream online. I didn't pay for it. Thank God. I'll get into that. But then also, like a week ago, there was a sick pay-per-view UFC card on. And so, like, when you just compare both of them, it's just, like, ridiculous that boxing is a real thing. My first point, basically, you can, like, in boxing, you can just tie the guy up and just, like, hold him. And then the ref comes in and, like, splits you up. That happens. That's probably half of the entire fight of, like, any fight that I've seen. So that's off.
There should be like a penalty or something if you do it a certain amount of times. Like they have to try to do something to like deter players from doing that.
They should. What happened in the fight before the Floyd Mayweather fight is the guy was doing it a lot. And the ref just kept saying, "We're going to disqualify you. Next time you do it, you're disqualified." And the guy in the corner was like this old school guy. And he was like, "They going to disqualify you for holding. Now, God damn it, fight, man. Get out there and fight, man." and then the other guy tried giving him water. And he was like, "Now stop it with the water, man. I told you, no more water. And now stop holding too." So like they just warn you to stop holding and that you're going to get disqualified. Or you might get like a point deducted or something like that. But it's so much in boxing. It's so much. Point number 2, it's like extremely gimmicky with how many sponsors they have. Like their whole shorts are just like a bunch of sponsors, and then they hold up a flag of the sponsors. And the guy before the Floyd fight that fought, he was wearing a hat after he won. They were interviewing him. He was wearing a hat for like a Japanese restaurant. And it wasn't even like a chain, like Japanese. It was like a single location. Just like there's one of them, Japanese restaurant. Like there's just one of them that exists in the world. It's just like they're taking money from everyone.
Yeah, I kind of respect it. And we play basketball at the United Center, so endorsements are everywhere.
But the NBA has like the Brooklyn Nets are sponsored by Motorola. The Memphis Grizzlies are sponsored by FedEx. I don't know what the Bulls are right now, but they're like real companies. It's not like a single location Japanese restaurant.
I think just we're a couple of years behind. There's going to be like Chevelle sponsors, something, or some probably an LA thing that we don't know about.
Sorry,
I respect it. No, you're good.
To go along with Sorosky saying he respects it, I told him if I ever made like the WSOP main event final table where it's just like huge, as long as it didn't go against any of their guidelines, which it might, I don't know what they would say. I was like, I would literally sell every inch of my shirt. I would literally sell out like so hard. I mean, if you think about it though, if you could make an extra like $200,000 or something from selling to like 50 companies in your shirt, like let's go.
True.
I'll sell out. True. I'll sell out for another $200,000.
Yeah, you could just be like, I don't have a day 2, morning hat booked. So if you want this spot for the hat I'm going to wear from 8 to 12 on day 2 of the WSOP, that'll just be, $1,000.
Yeah, perfect. It's funny too because. Go ahead.
You can keep. You can be like, I'll keep the ethnic slurs to a minimum.
Before we move forward, jump in or jump out. In double dutch, you can't halfway jump in. You're halfway jumping in, then the rope's catching you. Just jump all the way in.
I'm blaming this app. I'm blaming the app. I got to blame something. And also, I wasn't good at double dutch. If we want to be honest, kind of a tricky game. No, but you also get you're like, hey, I'm probably gonna win the tournament, so that's pretty cool for your brand too.
Yeah. Especially if you go find some random Chinese restaurant, solo location.
I kind of want to check out the restaurant though, because it sounds incredible based on this, the fact that they can advertise in this situation.
Or that guy
only winners eat there.
Or he loves that restaurant so much, he was just like, "I got you guys."
He does it as a surprise, doesn't even tell him, and then next time he goes, he's like, "You better be getting this bill."
I mean, I would,
yeah,
I would do that. Like if I was like Mayweather or Logan Paul, and like there were that many people watching me, I would throw Chevelle on my hat. If I was like, "Give me free Chevelle for life. You don't even have to give me money. Just free Chevelle for life. I'll put it on my hat." Easy peasy. That way, if you ever go broke, you could like still eat every day.
Yeah. Slightly above average burgers for the rest of your life.
Did you guys hear that Ramsey Burger is opening up in River North?
No.
Well, Ramsey Burger's opening up in River North.
Wow. When?
I don't know. I just saw him post an IG video about it like a week ago. But I don't know if you guys have ever been. It's super good.
There's one in Vegas, right?
Yeah, in Planet Hollywood. Literally every time I'm there, I try to get in there. It's like, it's a little hard because they don't have, it's kind of like pro-con. They don't take reservations. So it's like sometimes it's like works out. Sometimes it's terrible. Because I'm assuming if they took reservations, it would just be booked like all the time.
Right.
But yeah, every time I'm at Planet Hollywood, if I can, I like eat there because it's really good. It's expensive for a burger, but it's not crazy if it's like Gordon Ramsay burger. Like the burgers are still about like $12-13 a burger, which you'd pretty much find at like any decent restaurant. But it's like there's no sides. So like when you get sides, it kind of turns into like 20-25 a burger. But which is still like not terrible for like a Ramsay burger like on the Strip.
No, not bad. I think a burger at Chili's is probably like $13.
Yeah, I think.
But then you get the sides. I get it.
Right. And I think that's like their like I think I used to go to Chili's so much. I want to say like the old timer just plain burger was like $8.99 or something. But like I'm sure if you get one of their like comes with barbecue sauce and bacon and all that stuff, I'm sure that's like you said $12 or $13 for sure.
Oh, I see. Add-ons too.
Yeah.
We went to Burger together, Steve. At least once, maybe multiple times.
I mean, probably. I go there all the time.
Well, I'm glad it was memorable.
I go there so much, I don't know who I went with.
Mm-hmm. Me and your family.
I'm like, okay, I probably should have remembered that one.
That's embarrassing though that it was more memorable for Sorosky. You know, like when something's more memorable to someone else, it's embarrassing.
No, but it's like
if Steve went 100 times, right. And I went 5 times.
Like if I have like a year membership to Disneyland and I go like 50 times and Sorosky goes to me one time and it's the only time he's been, like of course he's gonna remember that more than me.
Do you have a Disneyland pass? Incidentally,
we're getting them for sure because it's sick because it's only 3.5 hours from our house to Disneyland.
Nice.
So it's pretty not that bad. So when Noah's like a couple years older, we were thinking it's like any day we want to. If it's just like let's go to Disneyland, it's like 3.5 hours there, get a fast pass, go on some rides, get lunch, and just like drive home. Because I mean I don't
sounds awful.
I mean I don't mind driving, so that part I don't care. But I mean Disneyland's honestly not that bad if you have the fast pass. The worst part about Disneyland and Disney World is like standing around. Like, obviously, there's super kiddie rides, but like, there's stuff that's for sure enjoyable for adults. Like, they have
the prices are pretty brutal too.
I mean, but the year-long ones are way more reasonable, especially if you go like whatever 10 times.
No, but then you get hit by like, oh, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, $72, and you're like, oh, but you're there 50 times and you get hit with it twice. You're like, damn, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Noah's probably gonna want food every time. Stupid kid.
Yeah.
He's not paying for anything.
Yeah. What a freeloader.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me that he's still
lemonade.
He's like almost 10 weeks old and he's just still just fucking helpless. Like we always talk about like, it's like, I heard something about kids when like people have kids, they should be pregnant longer to like the baby should develop more. But we can't, like, our bodies have like evolved into not being able, like, if we let them come to term where they should be, we wouldn't be able to like deliver them because they'd be too big. And it's like, it kind of makes sense because if you literally look at so many species, like a giraffe will just like have a baby and then like in a couple hours, it's just like walking around, like just eating and shit. It's like 6 hours, like just like there's so many animals that are like that. They have babies and then like day 2, they're just like, fine.
Up and about, just exploring.
And he's literally like 10 weeks old and he's still just like just could literally do nothing. Like just in a forest, he's just dead 100 out of 100 times. Like just done.
Not surviving.
But it's just weird to me because it's like he's for sure going to be like that when he's 1 and 2. And it's just weird to me how humans are so different in that aspect. Like
and we're at the top of the food chain and we need like a 3-year head start to just survive.
We do. And at that point, it's like even arguable that they would survive at 3 years either. But it's like probably possible. But like obviously now drawing dead. Like you just put him in a forest now, he's done.
But you drop a horse day 1, like say a horse is born and the parents die. That horse might live a full life.
It probably will.
Could be a legendary horse. Because I've played some video games where that's kind of the start of the video game.
I've seen enough superhero movies to know if that horse's parents died when he was 1 day old, that horse is going to be a superhero with that tragic backstory.
Right, exactly.
He's going to be pissed the rest of his life.
Yeah, or supervillain.
Yeah,
or supervillain horse.
It's true.
Good point.
It's true. Yeah, very good points, Sorosky.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, were you still had your boxing points, or were you done with that?
I'll add in it's notoriously super rigged, so you don't have any integrity.
Right, one of the most known rigged sports.
Yeah, even in like the 20s, they were getting caught, and you could. How do you get caught for anything in the 1920s?
Like John Dillinger would literally rob banks and be like, "It's me, John Dillinger. I'm robbing this bank," and he like still would like go to the movies later.
And meanwhile, these boxers are like setting up fights and like getting caught by the FBI, who like can't catch anybody. Like they're just like glancing at people, but oh, we have a hunch, and this works perfectly because these guys are idiots.
Right. Great point. Also, the announcers are a complete joke in boxing. One guy said, Floyd Mayweather is just like Jay-Z, and he is not a businessman. He's a businessman. And like, that's the sort of commentary they're adding to the thing. Like there's always this notion with boxing that there's like different levels. You know what I mean? Like, I think people would think, okay, Floyd is like this much more skilled and Logan Paul is not this skilled. But like, as a common watcher, as a casual, I don't understand those levels. And they don't do anything to explain like those levels of boxing at all. All they do is say dumb shit like, you know, Floyd Mayweather is a businessman. They don't explain what's actually happening in the fight, but I understand that there's levels to boxing that I don't understand. But they don't explain it at all.
Well, and plus, like, as like most fans, I would think that tune in for those fights are recreational fans that don't know shit about boxing. And it's like, at what point do they care what level of boxing they're watching, as long as it's entertaining? I mean, I could care less if I'm watching Floyd or some scrub, as long as it's like a good fight. I don't give a fuck.
Right. I don't understand the difference between that. But I would like someone to be like, you know, Floyd was setting up the jab the whole time, so then that's why he goes to the counter. I don't know what it is, but like I need them to explain it to me.
No,
he's in the UFC. In the UFC, they explain it to you. They'll say like, you know, this guy is like, he's a pro in striking, so he wants to strike. He doesn't want to do it fight on the ground. This guy's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. They like explain it. In boxing, they just like, it's just so gimmicky.
He's a business man. That's all you get.
Like, imagine if I paid... Go ahead.
They have too many titles, so like I don't know who's the champ. Like, was Muhammad Ali the same title, you know, championship that Floyd Mayweather is, or and I think there's like 80 Klitschko's who have like 80 different championships. Like no one, like nothing. There's no Super Bowl number one. You know, who's the number one? Okay, we know who it is at any time champion, or we don't know any of them.
That's a great point. There's so many belts in boxing because there's a different weight class, like every 5 or 10 pounds. And it's like, there's just way too many belts. So that's a great point. And then the last thing that I'll say about this is Migos performed at the fight. Like before Floyd came out, Migos performed. And they started like where fighters walk out and they're performing their new single, which is like, you know, 4 minutes long or something. And they come out with their microphones. And like, have you guys ever written like on paper, and you're trying to write a sentence or you're making like a sign and your spacing on the letters is like, you think it should be this size so that you can fit your whole phrase or your whole word on the sign. But then when you're like 3/4 of the way done, you realize you're going to run out of space. So you have to like make your letters smaller and
sure.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have the best example for where I do that all the time.
Go ahead.
Any type of like card I buy, like birthday cards, wedding card, anything like that. I literally always I'm like one or two words every line will be like smushed because I'm like writing in all caps, and then I'll just get to the end, and you don't have like a big surface to work with, obviously, for cards.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. So that's what happened to Migos because they came out and they were like walking to the ring as they performed. But like by the first chorus, they were like already 2/3 of the way to the ring. So for the rest of the song, they had to like barely make their way up to the ring to finish the song.
That's awesome.
By the end, they were just standing outside of the ring.
Yeah, you could tell they just
all I got.
They didn't rehearse that at all. They were just like, yeah, we'll just like walk up and like rap. And then they were like, oh shit, we're walking super fast.
Yeah. Plus it was a new song, so they didn't have the full timing out and everything. But yeah, boxing's a joke. UFC in 10 years will be a real sport, and boxing will be dead. That's my opinion.
I like UFC too. It's entertaining. It's more fun too because it's like with boxing, it's like there's like not as much variety. It's like, oh, is it going to be a body shot or a face shot? Is it going to be like a haymaker or like a jab? That's like all you got. Like UFC, it's just like there's a million different submission holds. Is it going to be a submission? Is it going to be a fucking flying kick to the face? Is it going to be a punch to the side of that? Like there's just like there's a million ways somebody could win a UFC fight.
And UFC seems more, I'm sure it's still corrupt, but it seems much more merit-based than boxing. Whereas, like, if Ronda Rousey wins 5 fights in a row, she's going to be on the main event. And then if she loses 3 fights, she's done. Versus in, like, boxing, you can kind of be a little corrupt and, like, stay around, I feel. Or, like, schedule fights, you'll win for sure. I don't know how. UFC seems more legit. And, again, I'm sure it's corrupt as well, but.
True. Good point. Yeah, they'll match people up with like 20 people who suck in a row on purpose, so they can be like, "Oh, this guy's 20-0," and then give him a title fight or something. I feel like that does happen in boxing more.
Yeah, fuck
but
boxing.
Yeah. Thank you.
I got you.
I agree. I agree.
Did you guys order anything on Prime Day?
I don't understand. So I have Amazon Prime, but like, what's the benefit of Prime Day?
So you can only get those deals if you're a Prime member. And I guess like 2 days before or something, you like, they don't take anybody to like sign up for Prime. Like you can't just like sign up to like get the deals. And then it's like one day a year. And then they just have like a bunch of deals and like Maria ordered a couple things. I was going to look last night because I think it ended last night at midnight. And then I was like late in a tournament and then I like forgot and just fell asleep. So I missed it this year. Missed it.
The problem is being a Prime member isn't that exclusive of a barrier in society. Like I remember when I was like broke in law school, I was an Amazon Prime member. So pretty much there's if I was a Prime member at that point, there's no barrier.
Yeah, I mean,
you can just it's like $70 a year, and you also get it like TV service.
But Steve's saying there was extra deals for people.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand Prime Day, but even then, I feel like every day is such a deal with Amazon Prime. You know,
right? Was it not enough of a deal?
Yeah, and I feel like this is just me taking advantage if I get anything on Prime Day. You know,
it is crazy.
Shipping is so fast.
It is crazy though how we've kind of like grown up as Amazon and home delivery has just evolved. Like every single thing that we have needed for our house that we've been in the last few years, like we're finally ordering furniture and stuff for our outdoor patio upstairs that goes out from like the doors in our master. And it's just like, oh, we need a rug from out there. Which rug do you like? Rug's there tomorrow. Like it's like crazy how fucking nice it is.
I don't know when you guys started using Amazon, but I remember like my cousin and I would get each other like birthday and like Christmas presents on Amazon when we were little. And it used to take so long that we would forget we ordered the presents. And it would, so we'd order them in like December 25th for Christmas. And then it would be, you know, like middle of spring. And then we're like, oh yeah, here's Rush Hour 2, you know? This is sick. I was trying to watch this 3 months ago. And like now, like it's obviously now it's like instant. It's insane,
and it doesn't matter.
It really is,
and it doesn't matter like what you buy. That's like what blows my mind. Like you could just buy the fucking dumbest, pointless. Like, oh, I want this like Superman ice tray, and it's just like there tomorrow. It's like, how is it there tomorrow? Like,
where did you have this? You didn't have this in the warehouse. There's no way there's an aisle for the Superman ice trays. Like.
That's the part that blows my mind. It's like no matter what you order, it's literally there, like in a maximum of maybe 3 days. But most often it's a day or two.
A week would be fine. A week would be fine. Steve doesn't need that Superman ice tray in 2 days. Like he could take it on Friday.
I feel like I got to look for Superman ice trays now on Amazon just to see. I might just order one just to see how long it takes to get here.
Just little like S's for the ice.
That would be sick. Yeah, like the little logo. I kind of actually want that. No. But yeah, it's like we're finally going to get that area set up, which will be sick. Get a nice. I've always wanted to get like I need to get like a humidor with like a bunch of like nice cigars or something. Like I've always wanted to have, even though I don't like smoke cigars that much. Like it's like you just like come home, you're like, I want a nice cigar. Like I'll just go to like my humidor, get like a nice one, go sit outside. It seems like a pretty like adult thing to own.
That's you're probably related to Don Gribus if you have that thought.
Yeah, he's my dad.
Right.
He's been on the podcast. He's been on the podcast.
Yeah. Because I personally don't have that thought. I don't know about Mr. Dumlow, pterodactyl.
I have that thought all the time. And whenever you see someone having like a nice cigar, especially the way you're putting it, like sitting on the patio outside, it always looks so nice. Anytime in my entire life, like New Year's, for example, if someone like brings cigars or something and you're like, oh, let's do that. Anytime in my life where I've ever actually lit up a cigar, it takes about 30 seconds and I'm like, this is just not even enjoyable. Like immediately I'm like, this looks so much cooler. Like in TV shows, smoking cigarettes looks incredible, but it's just not the reality of it.
It does look awesome.
Right.
Speaking of smoking, I literally haven't smoked anything since Noah was born. Like a couple days before, probably like just the day before, actually, because like I smoke all the time. But so it's been like almost 10 weeks now of like not smoking anything or like eating just like nothing marijuana, like zero.
Any differences?
I don't know, honestly. Like I feel like it's kind of hard to measure because my lifestyle is so different this 10 weeks. Like it's not like I'm doing the same stuff as I was and just not like I just took smoking out of that aspect. It's like my whole life's like different. So it's kind of hard to like judge, but I definitely it wasn't like hard at all. Like it was like 6 weeks in and I was like, oh shit, I haven't like smoked at all. Like I was never like, oh my God, like I need to like smoke so bad. I think if I was quitting for like a job or like some other like reason, then it would be like pretty tough. But it was like I wasn't even consciously like, oh, I should quit like for him. It was just like I never even like thought about it because I was just so busy, like got to do this, got to do that, and everything. And then it just sort of like just like stopped doing it.
I gotta say, out of everyone I know that has had a kid, you're the first person that's kind of freaked me out a little bit because everyone else I know that's like had a kid, it's like 2 weeks after they have a kid, you'll see them at a party and you're like, oh, they're just like living a normal life, like regular people. But based on on the way you talk about like the first couple weeks and stuff, it seems like life got flipped upside down. And that's how I always imagine in my head is like your life just completely changes. As soon as it happens.
One thing that because I said the same thing to Maria, I was like, I feel like I see other people and it's like seems so much easier for them. And one thing that Maria said that I never thought of was everybody that we know, or I'm assuming most everybody that we know, when they have kids, they're like at home. Where like take like Nick and Mandy for example, like her parents are around, his parents are around. Like it's just like there's so much. Like you need to take a nap, you want to go out, you want to do this. There's so much like Maria and I don't have anybody out here.
Right.
It's literally just like Maria and I. Like my family's come to visit, but it's like my sister obviously has a newborn in town with my mom and my dad, and it's like I know my mom and dad go there like all the time and they're like helping out with this and helping out with that. Here, I'll bring you dinner, this, that. I think that's like such a huge factor that like we didn't really think about.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
The lesson is it's harder for Steve than you, Anna. That's the lesson of today's episode. Never forget.
But yeah, it's like he's definitely been like on the fussier side. Like he doesn't sleep very often because he always has like some stomach issues and stuff, which makes it even harder because he's like up, like he never sleeps for like 5 or 6 hours. Like it's always like he'll sleep for like an hour or two and then he's like up again. So but yeah, I think the not having people around is like huge. Like that's pretty big. Because like
plus you'll hit some milestones where he starts sleeping probably fully, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah, definitely. Because like if you guys had a kid, like I'm sure your parents would be over like half the week,
right?
Or I'm sure your parents would be like drop him off for like 6 hours and like go out to dinner, go out and have some drinks or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that just seems like the constant for most everybody that we know. But
should we do a? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's like we're almost 10 weeks in, and like you said, I'm sure like as he keeps getting older, certain aspects are gonna get easier. He'll start sleeping more, and it's like I'm working from home. Maria's off work right now, so it's like it's not like crazy hard, but it's just definitely like life's for sure different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it.
Before I know we're kind of close to time. Before we wrap up, we should do an update. Steve, I don't know if you said you didn't hear the last cast, but Sorosky and I did a challenge from June 14th to July 14th on total distance, like running or walking. Because Sorosky, we talked about him doing his weight loss challenge and how he's been doing these walks through the cemetery. And so we're like officially linked up on an app to see our distance and track it. And Sorosky gave himself, well, because you haven't listened to it, what percentage chance would you put on, and we bet $100 of Ethereum on it. So knowing that, what percentage chance would you give to me or to him to win total distance 1 month?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it'd be pretty close because like, I know you're the type of dude to like go out for a run or something, but I know Sorosky like walks like a shit ton, especially like living in the city. Like he'll like walk to go pick up food, walk to like the store, walk to the Dunkin' Donut, and like now if he's just doing like recreational walks too, like I'm sure he's walking all the time. I think it'd be pretty even money for like, especially if you guys are competing and like betting.
That's just so disrespectful to me. Like Sorosky gave himself a 40% chance to win. And
seems pretty
I took that so personally.
I preface by saying you're the type of dude that would like go out on a run.
Yeah, but am I the type of dude that would lose a challenge that's based on will?
Probably,
especially when we talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, do you have the updated updated?
That's the give me a second. Before you read the stats, that's another big factor for me though. Like if you had said that, not because like you guys are on a shared app where you can see each other's progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that makes it even more of like it'll be pretty close. Like if you guys were like living in mystery and it was like we're just going to update in a month and like we're tracking our own stuff and like nobody knows, then I think you'd be like a huge favorite, honestly. The fact that you could see, because Sorosky could log on and be like, shit, I'm down like 5 miles. Like I have to like walk a bunch the next 2 days.
The best is that we can see like where we walked in our routes. And Sorosky texted me the other day. Well, first off, in a previous podcast, he talked about how he walked through the cemetery, and then I checked his walk, and it was like directly through a cemetery. and then the other day, Sorosky texted me, and he goes, "Yeah, I got like a little lost on my walk." And then I look at the chart, and it's just like a bunch of random turns. You can totally tell that he got lost.
That's awesome.
I mean, the cemetery is kind of like a forest. You know, it's a poor man's forest. So at some point, I should have taken a left to go back to the exit. I took a right to go back to the back of the cemetery.
A poor man's forest, or a poorest, if you will.
Yeah. It is crazy how just like the cemetery is like a nice park-ish situation, and no one bothers you versus outside in the public. It's crazy.
I do think that the knowing each other's distances is like a huge factor, though. Because I feel like
right now,
because of what Eric said, your personality is, I feel like if you guys didn't know, you would just be like doing a shit ton extra because you'd be like, gotta make sure. But it's like in theory, you could just like barely stay ahead, or like you could manageably stay ahead, and then Sorosky could just do like 10 miles one day to catch up.
Right. So right now it's 28 to 14 miles.
I'm like, good job, Sorosky. Leading the pack.
Well, if it helps, I'm going to go get groceries today. So it's going to be 28 to like 15, you know, after this podcast.
You know what's sick? I'll get in on that with you guys next month, because I'm like doing a weight loss thing with like Sorosky and our buddy Lucas. And like part of my plan is to just like walk the dogs a shit ton and like just do a shit ton of walking myself.
Easy.
So I'll get down on it. I don't have any Ethereum, but we'll figure something out.
You can buy Ethereum.
We'll figure it out.
It's on sale.
Yeah, it's great sale.
Nothing we can do. Nothing
You give one of us cash, and then we'll toss you some ether.
Yeah, perfect. There we go. But yeah, I'll do something with you guys how long was the 28 miles? How long did that take?
We started on the 14th, so it's been 9 days approximately.
All right, so I should with what I'm planning, I should be pretty much on pace with Eric on that, because I'm planning on I'm going to take each dog for like a 1.25 mile walk. Kevin doesn't go, but so just walking the dogs, I'll already be at 2.5 a day, and then I was going to try to do an extra just mile and a half. I was going to try to do 4 miles a day.
Good,
but like
obviously, and then your disadvantage is it's so hot right now.
Yeah, like I have to go like lately. If I'm walking the dogs, it's literally at like 11 at night or something.
What is it like at 11?
It's pretty. I mean, it depends. Like it's right now. It's actually only 82. But I talked to Sorosky when my family was here last week. 4 days in a row, it was 115.
Wow.
It was like brutal. And then at midnight, it would still be like 101. It was so hot. But like, I mean, on a normal day, it's nice. I mean, it's probably still like 80, like low 80s or high 70s, like if you go at night. So I'll get on that with you guys for July.
We'll have to go July 15th to 15th then.
That's like perfect, because I literally am back in Chicago and I fly back home the 14th. I fly back here the 14th.
Okay.
So literally perfect.
I mean, Sorosky and I probably would have liked a couple of days off. That would have been nice, but we could just do it straight from the 15th.
Yeah, we'll power. Our feet don't need any help,
Yeah, you guys can take a couple of days off. You'll just have to catch up. Because I'll be starting the 15th.
Hey, thankfully, historically, this would be a funny story to go out on. When I visited Steve, Maria's like, "Hey, Sorosky, can you convince Steve and I, like, let's all get pedicures? I know you get a pedicure. It'll make your feet feel better. And like in this case, we're walking a bunch. A pedicure will be good." And I'm like, "That's a great idea, Maria." And then Steve's just like, "No, not doing it. I don't want to do it. You guys can do it." And eventually, Maria accepts that, and I go, "Hey, Maria, can we still get a pedicure together?" And she just goes, "No."
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was going to end with you two going to get a pedicure, but that was a much better ending.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten one.
I'll probably get one. Actually, a quick socialite update. Going on a boat on Tuesday. So I gotta do a pedicure. Probably Friday pedicure. Probably around noon. So just plan on that mentally, everybody.
Boat or a yacht?
Boat. Hey!
You gotta start somewhere.
Barely a socialite. Boat.
Socialites are on
last
boat.
time. Yeah, when's the last time you went on a boat or a yacht?
I've never been on a yacht.
Okay. I think I might have when I was lost looking for my grandpa's boat once or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Sorosky's gonna get lost on the boat, and Eric's gonna look at the tracker, and it's gonna be like, just like a bunch of random places on Lake Michigan. But all right,
I gotta show off my swimming skills and lifeguard skills. It'll be great.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully, someone goes overboard.
Yeah, hopefully, someone rich and famous.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm gonna go. Even what's the point of going in for a poor person?
Did you guys hear that?
What?
I heard Noah cry from the other room.
Oh, no, I couldn't hear it.
Heard it in my speaker. It's probably going to be on the. We'll look for the 44-minute mark. We'll see if we can hear it.
All right, that's probably time to go then, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's probably. Is he sad we're leaving, or sad that he loses his 45 minutes of freedom and now he has to hang out with Steve for a little bit?
No, I got a tournament to. I mean, I'll probably go feed him or something, and then I'll probably go play right after that. But
all right, good luck.
Yeah, thanks. I'll talk to you boys later.
Later.
Godspeed.